Economics has been used by Democrats to create despair and isolation as part of young people's lives. It's just expected at this point. This causes emotional, psychological suffering, a lack of any meaningful connection. Relationships, commitments, the stuff of life, it all just goes out the window and feels as impossible as ever, like buying a house. Today's commentary is brought to you by MyPillow.com and Real Estate for Life. MyPillow has a fantastic spring sale going on, even deeper discounts for Souls and Liberty viewers. You just have to type in the Souls and Liberty promo code on the MyPillow.com website. And over at Real Estate for Life, if you want to buy or sell a home and support pro-life organizations at the same time, visit realestateforlife.org or text 248-431-1440 right there on the screen, 248-431-1440. Be sure to mention Souls and Liberty and we'll receive a sizable donation. And here's the important part, at no cost, zero cost to you. Well, the latest numbers are out, and far from Trump dropping like a rock, as the Democrats keep lying about, because that's all they do is lie, he's actually at his highest approval ever, 53%, according to the Daily Mail, and notably, among young people, he's holding his record-setting support by them since the November election. There's no doubt about it. The young love Trump, and much to the commie Democrats' bewilderment on that point. But the Dems shouldn't be mystified by this. They spent decades greasing the skids for millennials to be screwed over once they got firmly ensconced in the job market. And now those same millennials have abandoned the Dems, as well they should. American middle-class wealth has been siphoned off overseas, reduced across the board in exchange for corporate profits. In short, Main Street has been raided by Wall Street. For example, homeownership has long been seen as part of the American dream, but for many of the nation's young, it's hard to even imagine, much less dream about. Experts put the blame on 5 major areas. Number 1, wage stagnation. In real dollar terms, the middle class has seen almost no growth in income for more than 2 generations, certainly not enough to keep up with inflation. Number 2, student debt. Young people who go to college leave with boulders of debt on their backs thanks to greedy colleges who collect their money from D.C. and then pass the debt along to their students. Number 3, high prices. In late 2023, the median price of a home, get this, median price, $412,000. Going by traditional measures of how much you have to make to afford a home, prices like that, they just freeze out loads of young people. Number 4, low inventory. It's a big reason why houses are so expensive. There are so few houses available to meet the demand that the average home is only on the market for about a month. And number 5, corporate buy-ups. Large companies now own, get this, up to 40% of all single-family dwellings, which they then turn around and rent as investments. They usually pay over asking market price, and there's no way young people can get into bidding wars with giant corporations. Scratch the surface, and you'll find policies and practices. They are all pushed by the Dems. The larger implications are pretty obvious. Young people believing they might never be able to buy a home. They're just pushing off getting married, they're pushing off having children, and they're pushing off raising families accordingly. Families, however, are the major component of the middle class, and crushing the middle class has been the goal of DC communists for decades. This is all part of a master major plan. It's just taken this long for their plan to be realized. Trump is beloved by the young because he's exposing all of this and making bold revolutionary moves to change it all, to force a major reset. While we can talk about all of this in economic terms, it reaches far beyond just finances. Economics has been used by Democrats to create despair and isolation as part of young people's lives. It's just expected at this point. This causes emotional, psychological suffering, a lack of any meaningful connection. Relationships, commitments, the stuff of life, it all just goes out the window and feels as impossible as ever, like buying a house. All of that is the most important part of human life, of course, with the ultimate connection being God. But a lack of connection to other humans, especially for young people, often folds back on a connection to God. Creating this malaise and underlying sense of meaningless has all been part of the Democratic strategy to undermine America by undermining hope. Trump is determined to restore hope, at least economically, to help give young people a sense of accomplishment and a future. As one young fellow on X opined about the current state of the economy, quote, "The stock market will be priced correctly when young men can afford to buy homes and start families on median incomes, when the U.S. taxpayer doesn't fund handout programs in 150 different countries, when parks and streets are safe and clean." Yep, people need to feel safe in every corner of their life. It's a massive component of our human nature, of the natural law. The current economy doesn't make people feel safe, which is why Trump is resetting it. And it's why so many young people who are also restless are sticking by Trump. They see in him a leader who cares about them and who gives them hope. In the meantime, the Democrats, who have become the party of the demonic, need to be opposed at every single step, which means patriots need to be equipped not just for the political and cultural battle out there, but even more attuned to the spiritual battle inside. We are each weak in the face of the demonic, and make no mistake, the Democrats are demonic. So we invite you to join us in this healing prayer to better equip all of us in this mission. Praise to you, O Christ, for the victory of your glorious cross. Through the power of your death and resurrection, be our champion over the evil that afflicts us, the sickness of our bodies, the errors of our minds, the confusion of our feelings, the guilt of our consciences, the brokenness of our relationships, and the weakness of our faith. Make good our hope in you, and restore us now and forever to your glory, O crucified and risen Lord. Amen. Thanks for joining us today. Coming to you from Houston, Texas. Yeehaw! I'm Gary Michael Voris. God love you.